So a little later on, we brought some other people up there, and we're like, hey, check this out. So right before that, what you heard, I had just told somebody, be careful putting your hand under the bed. And then that's what then is the EVP you just heard, which I don't know if you could understand it or not.
No.
Okay, if you listen closely, it says, now look what you found. And that was none of us.
What did you guys find?
There was a firearm
Under the bed.
under the bed.
Which, I don't think certain people in the house knew it was there.
Oh.
Like the parents.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, loaded or
something.
anything.
I don't know if it was loaded or not. I didn't touch it.
Ah, we just...
But anyway, and that voice that you hear there was not heard in the room. And all through the night, we heard whispering. A lot of it we couldn't make out. There was whispering. There's another EVP from that house where...
Pretty clear.
Yeah, and right about the time that was caught, and I didn't bring that clip, but there was like a breath that Jen and somebody else had heard on the radios. It wasn't actually an EVP because they heard it. But at the same time as that was going on, a stereo upstairs came on by itself. There was 3 investigators up there in that room, and it just came on. So that all, and then right after that was another EVP that we could make out, which was just one word, but I mean there was whispering all night long at that house.
And that's the hard part when you're doing EVP work. You have to leave enough space for whatever it is that's with you to answer. So a lot of ghost hunting is sitting in silence, and you'll address them and tell them who you are and try to make them comfortable, talk to them a little bit, and then, is there anything you'd like to say? Give us a sign of your presence. And then later when you listen to the recording, that's when you'll hear things.
Yeah, and we know not to whisper. You will occasionally whisper, and then you just say, hey, that was me whispering in the audio. That way somebody knows when they're reviewing it. But after you review the audio enough anyway, you can pretty much tell everybody's voice. You can, hey, that was so-and-so's whisper, or you put it together with something they said later, or just the conversation alone. Okay, so-and-so said this, and that makes sense as to what's going on.
Oh, it sounds like EVP's out in the hallway.
No. Keep it down out there. Yeah, keep it down. We're whispering. So, since you've been in this building, I don't know anything about this building, or how old, or a history, or anything about that. Speaking of which, are most of these places, the homes that you find that there are with the paranormal activity, are they older homes, or could it be a new home?
Yeah, it can be a new
anything.
home.
Be anything?
Could be anything. It could be attached to a person, the property, the house.
Ghosts attach themselves to people?
Yes.
Yes, or objects like we were just having this discussion a little bit earlier. You could buy something from an antique mall, and something could have attached itself to it, and you bring it in your home, and now it's there.
What would you say, out of like all of the claims that you get and people that want you to investigate, what percentage would you say is actually paranormal activity as opposed to people just, freaking out about nothing?
Well, interestingly enough, we go in and try to debunk stuff. We try to give them a reasonable explanation for what it is that they've got going on. And our tagline is explaining the unexplained. But more times than not, I want to say...
We find something.
We find something, and it may not even be what they...
Right.
That they're even aware of.
One place, they thought there was an old man haunting the place, and, through what we found, we're not sure, but if something is going on there, it's not an old man.
Right. So, I don't know. I mean, there's been a few cases where we've come out and we've had nothing. But I would say we're probably running in the 90% range of finding stuff.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So anybody at any time could basically say that there's a 90% chance that their home is haunted.
Right, but most of the time it's nothing to be concerned with.
Yeah. Energy is energy. It has to go somewhere. When someone dies or passes on, whatever your beliefs are, energy is energy. It has to go somewhere.
As far as that goes, like a residual haunting it's this energy that's kind of stuck in a spot and just keeps replaying itself over and over and over again. It doesn't know you're there. You're not going to know it's there most of the time. It's just something that happens so much that the energy's still there, and it just keeps happening. 8 o'clock every night, you hear a sound of a door opening. Well, that's because it happens so many times that the energy's still there.
The door wouldn't even have to be there anymore.
Right.
Really?
So.
Yeah. I mean, like for example, we've had a few claims of people hearing old-time radios. Those radios aren't there anymore, but they hear it all the time. You know, and that's just a residual haunting. It's something that played so many times over in the past that it's still
just
there.
imprinted.
And it's nothing to be frightened of.
No.
No, it doesn't even.
No, it has no idea. Yeah, it's basically nothing but energy.
It's the intelligence that you have to worry about.
What's the most frightening experience that you've had, and had the homeowner did he have to move out after he discovered what you were?
I don't think we've had anyone move out.
No.
I think
No.
we've startled ourselves more just in the excitement of the moment than been scared, I think.
I've never been scared. I've been touched, and that was really cool, but I wasn't scared.
You've been
Yeah.
touched by a ghost?
Yeah.
And it is really cool. Like
It's like ice. It's like- It's
How
like
do you-
ice
what
touching
makes
you.
Yeah.
Explain, elaborate on it.
It's hard unless it's happened to you. We were having a lot of high EMF in this one room. We were actually coaxing it forward. It had started near an attic, and we're like, come out further into the room. We'd get a little further, the EMF would stop. So we'd say, come on, we're not here to hurt you, just come a little further. We got it out to about the middle of the room. We're standing there. It got really, really cold, and then it was like if you'd stuck your hand in ice water and then grabbed my wrist. That's the best way to describe it, I guess. I mean, it's just ice cold. It felt like a hand, and it touched me on the wrist, kind of almost like grabbing my wrist. Didn't hurt. It wasn't even like it was meant to be a violent thing. It just, and then it was gone. And actually, we followed into another room, and it seemed to hide in a closet. It kind of went into a closet, and the EMF would not come out of the closet. It was like we followed it to a closet, and we couldn't get it to come out of the closet, and then eventually it just wasn't there anymore.
Did you say Tom Cruise?
No, I still don't know what that's like.
But it's hard to explain what being touched is like unless it happens to you.
Yeah, I've never been touched, and I
It's
think
not
it would
fun.
scare me.
It happened to
See,
me.
I was excited because I wanted to know what was going on.
When you're in your basement with two of your friends and all the lights are off and you're playing cops and robbers, being touched on the shoulder by an ice cold hand is not fun.
Oh.
Have you ever really seen like apparitions and things like that?
I never have, no.
Well, we had that shadow.
But nobody ever
Yeah,
seen
it's
it when it
really
was
cool
happening.
apparition. Yeah.
We seen it on video. We didn't actually catch it there.
Yeah, not live.
Yeah, nothing live. We catch, I mean, when you're in a house for, I don't know, what our investigations roughly run, 6 hours
Your eyes play tricks on you, but
in the dark. Yeah, I mean, it's
Because you're
difficult to
sitting
see
here
something.
staring for so many hours at one thing. I mean, I'm sure you start to think, hey, did I just see that? And
Right,
I have to go
yeah.
back
was that a
and watch
shadow
it.
in there? Was that a light in there? What was that?
Self-deprivation tank. You start to see things eventually.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking my very first investigation, Jen and I were in a bathroom that was just super, super tiny. And we came in the bathroom, and then there was just room for like the sink, the toilet, and then we had this huge tripod on the floor that had our camera on it. And we kind of walked in, and we're like, okay, where are we gonna go? So I like sat down in the bathtub, and you sat down on the toilet, didn't you?
Yeah.
And,
We don't normally investigate bathrooms, but they claim that things were falling off of the shelf. The wall back to the staircase that led to the upper level of the house, and when someone would walk up the stairs, the shelving would shake.
It wasn't attached to anything. It was just
Yeah.
wire
Just a-
shelving.
FYI, there was also the dildo on the shelf. So I'm pretty sure, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right there on the shelf.
right there, just for us.
That's something
Yeah.
you remove.
right.
Right, exactly.
When you call St. Louis Ghost Hunters to come in and investigate why your shelves are vibrating,
Take your vibrator
it's a
off the
good
shelf.
idea to remove the sex toys.
But we're not going to go through your drawers, but if it's out there for us to see, we're going to see it.
Yeah, and we're gonna make fun of you.
That's funny.
So have you guys been to like Limp Mansion and done things there?
I've been to the Lemp Mansion on one of their tours and took the tour that anybody can go and take, and it was an interesting place. We actually focus more on private residences and businesses and people that need us, but we're always up to go spend some time at a
We're
place
not
like
opposed.
that.
But yeah, typically people will contact us, and then we like to do that. Although, hey, if we get the opportunity to do Limp, we have nothing going on, then we'll do it. But usually people are contacting us, and we usually have 4 or 5 cases that are sitting there waiting to be scheduled. So
How long have you guys been doing this?
Oh gosh, we've all been interested in the paranormal ever since we were kids.
Yeah.
But
together over a year.
just
Yeah.
over a year for this group.
And
So-
what's have you guys had any like famous, investigate any famous areas that we would know